For What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
You shall not pass!
Yeah, okay. Tell that to Giannis.
Look out below. The Greek Freak bringing the thunder.
The regular season opener is here. Tonight, the Bucks take on the Wizards at Fiserv Forum. Our radio network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on the home of the Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good morning, 10:01. We have 47 degrees. Cloudy, windy, cool today. Just a slight chance of showers. High up, only up to 48. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. The measles outbreak in Oconto County is officially over.
The Wisconsin Department of Health Services says no new cases are expected, ending the outbreak after 42 days without an infection. In total, 36 confirmed cases were reported, including 2 hospitalizations. That last case was in early September. Health officials say measles spread easily through the air, but most Wisconsinites are protected thanks to vaccination. More information on the outbreak and the statewide data can be found on the DHS website. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
A man who was convicted of participating in the January 6th attack at the Capitol, then later pardoned by President Trump, under arrest again, this time for threatening to kill Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries. ABC's Aaron Katersky says New York State police allege Christopher Moynihan sent text messages about his intentions.
Moynihan was arrested over the weekend on a charge of making a terroristic threat just before Jeffries was scheduled to deliver a speech. New York State police said he sent a text message saying, "Hakeem Jeffries makes a speech in a few days in NYC. I cannot allow this terrorist to live."
Moynihan due in court tomorrow. President Trump demanding hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money for those special counsel investigations over his campaign's contacts with Russia and his removal of classified documents from the White House to his home in Mar-a-Lago. ABC's Rachel Scott has more from the White House.
Sources tell ABC News that President Trump is pushing for a personal $230 million payout from the Justice Department as compensation for the federal investigations he's faced.
Well, I guess they probably owe me a lot of money for that. Probably, yes, it's true.
That money would ultimately come from American taxpayers. The president now in charge of the department that investigated him for allegations of Russian meddling in the 2016 election and mishandling of classified documents in 2022.
Yeah, that payout may ultimately be approved by a Justice Department official who was once Trump's personal lawyer. Still no signs of the government shutdown ending as it stretches into day 22. That makes it the second longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Senate Democrats refuse to vote for a House funding resolution unless it extends health insurance subsidies used by over 20 million people. City of Milwaukee reaches a tentative labor agreement with the Milwaukee Police Association. The new contract would cover a majority of the Milwaukee Police Department's law enforcement officers. While terms are still unknown, it still needs to be approved by MPA members and the Milwaukee Common Council. Finalized agreement would end the arbitration that's been underway the last few weeks. Milwaukee police officers have been working without a contract for 3 years. Popular downtown Milwaukee nightclub could be forced to shut its doors. Common Council Licenses Committee revoking that Element Lounge have its license revoked. Milwaukee police filed a complaint against the nightclub near Water in Michigan. MPD says the club's been connected to multiple shootings in the downtown area. Alderman Bob Bauman.
I mean, when you have 13 out of your 20 years of operation resulted in discipline, your business plan has a problem. So I would strongly urge this committee to recommend rescission.
The Common Council will make the final decision at its meeting November 4th. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 83 points. NASDAQ down 97. S&P 500 down 10. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:04.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner and catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Adam member new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks begin the regular season tonight. Milwaukee will face off with the Washington Wizards at home. Bucks went 48-34 a season ago and were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Green Bay will hit the road to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers Sunday night. It'll be the first matchup between the Packers and Rodgers since the teams parted ways ahead of the 2023 season. Rodgers went 145-75 and won through 475 touchdowns with Green Bay. Badgers face number 6 Oregon Saturday. UW have lost 5 consecutive games to fall to 2-5 on the season, 0-4 in Big Ten play. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a right lane block. This is going to be I-41 south at the ramp from Highway 145. It looks like a large truck in that area blocking that right lane. Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly cloudy, windy, cool, slight chance of showers. High only up to 48. That's pretty close to where we are now. Just a slight chance of rain tonight. Cloudy, breezy, low 39. Sunny, 51 tomorrow. Frost Friday morning, then sunshine, high 53. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high 56. And Sunday, partly cloudy with a high of 60. 46 in Madison, 47 in Green Bay and in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Listen, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo! You know how much satisfaction I get when I don't even have to say that? It's just automatically it's played.
You'll be happy to know that we carried on with that tradition while you were gone.
I'm happy that you did that because I want to bring that back. I'm going to bring the...
What do you mean bring it back? It never went anywhere. We've been doing this every Wednesday since this show started.
We have. No one else is doing it. But like many things, we sort of reintroduce the audience to things that should be talked about but aren't being talked about.
Old Geico commercials?
Right. Stop putting brainworms in my head, by the way. Jazz has been putting these dumb songs in my head in the morning. He starts humming them, and I can't get them out of my head. It's driving me nuts. All right. Question for you.
Got it.
On this Wednesday, on this Hump Day edition. Thanks for joining us, by the way. Always love the fact that you take the time out of your busy, busy day. And that sort of ties into what we're talking about because do you think you could be replaced by a robot? An AI-driven, generated robot?
Doing this show?
Yes. I think you could right now. I'm not saying...
I mean, there are AI-generated podcasts, right?
Know,
there's already things you can type in saying, like the prompt being like, I want a male and female host. I want them... Like, they could type out our personalities and give them a topic, and you could get automated voices back and listen to a conversation. Do I think it's as interesting as you and I? No.
What would they type in the search or the request? For you.
Cranky
for
old
you.
boomer.
No, for you, not for me.
And
for you.
Loud.
Liberal.
Loud, cheerful. You don't think I'm cheerful? I think
days.
I'm pretty optimistic.
Yeah, most days.
I don't know. That's a good prompt. What would people use to describe Steve and I if you had to recreate us as AI personalities.
Yeah, you can send those suggestions in the 855-616-1620. The reason this is relevant is because, as I shared with you this morning, I mean, robots are taking over the world.
And faster than we think. So New York Times has a new article out that Amazon plans to replace more than 500,000 jobs with robots. So it's reported that the company is, over the next handful of years, it would be 600,000 jobs that they would be able to avoid hiring. And while they're also increasing the amount that they think they will be selling, and it would translate to about 30 cents cheaper per product bought on average. And it's interesting because also reported in the documents is that while they didn't admit this entirely, but there's they're trying to offset the PR concerns by investing in community programs like Toys for Tots, and which also I think is ironic because that's buying more stuff, as in toys. And I guess executives were told to avoid terms like automation and were urged to call robots cobots to underscore collaboration with humans.
Clever.
I don't know. Because it's at the same time, who wants those jobs, right? To a certain extent, right? It's like the manufacturing line workers forever, as far as it is a job. It is a good paying job right now, right? Like if you get paid $22 an hour at Amazon and you get benefits. Now, there's obviously people who talk about the working conditions not always being great and bathroom breaks and a lot of stuff there. But the fallout becomes, what do people do if more of these jobs get taken away? And does this come back to the conversation of bringing back the idea of a universal basic income? If we get to the point where robots can do so much of the labor that we don't need all these people, what do you do with these people? And I think in the best futuristic terms, the most optimistic terms of what AI and robots can do is it frees up humans to do what humans want to do and are uniquely able to do, which is be creative, have actual in-person relationships and connections, and having more fulfilling life, and letting AI and robots do the labor. But I have a feeling that that's not the world that we live in, and that's not how it's going to work out.
I'll share a conversation I had with Luca, who is my guide for most of our tour of Sicily. And he said something to me that I wanted to get a perspective from somewhere else other than here, because I have a pretty good idea what happens in the United States and in Wisconsin, certainly, and in Milwaukee area. And he goes, here's our problem. Nobody under 30 wants to do anything other than be on the internet, work at home, go out with their friends. They don't want to do any of the jobs that require labor, heavy lifting or labor. They don't want to do any of those jobs. So they're having a massive problem. And the other piece of that is they don't want to move out of their parents' house ever.
I think this is Italian.
This was a Sicilian telling me this.
In
Smart
Sicily,
guy,
he was saying that's kind of the feeling of people under 30 in Sicily.
He actually was a professional architect. Then, as he got older, turned into.
How old is he?
50s. I think he said he's 59.
Because to a certain extent, that feels like what every generation says about a younger generation. Oh, nobody wants to work anymore. Everybody's lazy. Blah blah blah. And I take issue with that being a sweeping generalization.
Yeah, I love sweeping generalization.
I know you do. Because
if I see one more younger generation person yapping on their way too close video on one of the platforms.
I'm not under 30.
But you do other stuff besides that.
But I'm saying, think about the people that you work with that are under 40 in this building. Mm-hmm. Do you think they don't want to do hard work?
I don't know. Well, I don't know them well enough. I don't touch them in that way. I see them in the morning. That's the only time I ever see them. Okay. So I don't know what work they do.
Well, you know that I'm not allergic to hard work.
No, you're a hard working gal. I would say that.
So there you go. It's not everybody.
I'm not saying it's universal. I would ask you how universal basic income is going to fix the problem, other than just rewarding people for not doing anything.
Well, what are you going to do? Just have people who can't find jobs and they're just destitute?
My suggestion is let's start designing our curriculum in our schools to fix robots, to interact, to do those types of jobs.
Because this is coming. This is what relevance. I'm saying. If robots are coming for manufacturing and laborious jobs, and robots and AI are also coming for data science, computer science jobs, and automated work as far as marketing campaigns, and if everything is going to start being AI, what are humans going to actually do for work?
They'll have to have an direct interface with all the robotic pieces of our lives. That's the interface. Fixing the things that need to be fixed. Robots aren't perfect either. They will break down. They have to be.
So you're fine with this?
I just understand it's happening. For example, 14% of workers in China have been replaced by robots already. 14%. It's a big number. In the U.S., each robot that we currently have replaces 6.2 workers. It's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
No
I understand
issues.
the economics of why this is good for business.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good for humanity.
In all the conversations we've had about the economy, what I always say, companies have shifted from the employee first to shareholder board of directors first.
Which is also not a good thing.
I agree.
Good for shareholders.
I agree with that.
Good for the people who have money.
That's true. But what it's done is all the things that you have to worry about with an individual human employee, HR benefits, matching 401ks, time off, sick pay, childcare if you have that in your company.
Moodiness.
None of that.
You don't think AI robots are going to be moody?
In the future, maybe. Remember we were talking about sex bots the other day? Who doesn't think that's going to transform this whole conversation? Are you kidding me?
All right. Well, this is just to set up where we're going next, because this is adding to a theory that, in general, not just the kids, but the people are not all right. And we're going to discuss whether or not we think that is true in our own lives. So stay with us. Point taken.
Yeah, okay. Tell that to Giannis.
Look out below. He plants it right in the heart of the cylinder with a big one-hand rim rocker.
The regular season opener is here. Tonight, the Bucks take on the Wizards at Fiserv Forum. Our radio network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
The Greek Freak bringing the thunder.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. You heard me talk about Annex Wealth Management. Just did a webinar out there last night. Maybe your friends or neighbors have too. So maybe you want to find out what they can do for you. With tax season coming up, yes, that time of year, now is the perfect time to get your financial house in order. The professionals at Annex Wealth Management can help you plan with confidence for today and the long road ahead. They are a fee-only fiduciary. That matters, which means they work in your best interest. They don't try to sell you anything. Annex takes care of everything, including retirement investment planning, tax planning, estate planning, all in one place. You can meet in person or connect virtually. I've done both ways. Both are fine. They work great. And while you're online, check out their free webinars, which are amazing and informational, and the in-person events right on the front page at annexwealth.com. From tax planning to smart investing, these sessions are a great way to stay informed and confident about your future. Not all financial advisors are created equal. Maybe it's time to make a change. Know the difference. Take charge of your future with Annex Wealth Management. Click the now famous Get Started button. That's what I did at annexwealth.com. Love it.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house? Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Snap a pic of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one you're tired of. And enter now at WTMJ.com. Sidex makes it easy to go from fright to fabulous.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi. And Steve, would you say, in general, in your life, are people okay?
Yes.
You think so?
In my life.
You don't
directly.
You don't
feel
like this year's been different or off from years past as far as just the general ethos of, like, the vibe check of how people are doing?
Are you talking about like my personal life or like just people I see on the streets?
I don't know. Just in, like when you're thinking about the status of.
I'll answer it this way. I'll answer it this way. Most of my friends, family, neighbors are doing okay, but there is some stress on the system.
Okay.
And that most of it's economic.
Are you a Brey Brown fan?
I know who she is. Smart lady.
You never read any of your books?
No.
Have you seen her TED Talk? Her famous 2010 TED Talk?
Yes, I've seen that. Great speaker. Great public speaker. And followed by millions.
Yes. So she, for people unfamiliar, Brey Brown, she's a researcher, author, speaker. Her famous rise to fame was a 2010 TEDx talk talking about vulnerability and shame. So she was speaking at the Fortune's Most Powerful Women Summit in Washington, D.C. last week. And I came across this snippet. And then Fortune also wrote a whole article about it. So I want to play this and then talk a little bit about whether or not you think this is true.
And tell you right now, people are not okay. if you're leading people, you probably know people are not okay. I mean, folks are still going into Costco with an automatic weapon because they're out of Cheese Whiz. Like, people are emotionally dysregulated, distrustful, and disconnected. So you're leading a workforce that is increasingly struggling. You've got really massive instability geopolitically, changing markets, and AI and tech.
So obviously it goes on from there, but I don't know, that for me that rang really true. That a lot this year, and I mean it's been more than this year, but there just feels like there's a lot of not conflating. I don't know what the word that I want, but like a lot of things coming together at once that I feel like a lot of people my age, it feels very fragile and uncertain right now.
Shaky. I mean, it's like there's just something underlying, and she hits on the points. People in workplaces, goes back to what I said before. You can trot out efficiency studies. You can trot out all the reasons why employees aren't doing their job, and anybody who's in a large workplace has heard these sort of lectures / get-togethers. But that's sort of perceived as a negative, even though it's all about the company, all about the the positive message. But if you constantly bombard employees with that, at the same time, as I said before, stripping away some of their benefits, making it more difficult to do things, what do you think the reaction of the employees would be? Now, the Costco example is obviously the extreme example, but to her point and to her credit, I've said over and over, those types of things are happening at a ever-increasing pace. Mass shootings, acts of violence,
That's
people
what I mean.
acting out. That is
how we talk to each other online.
That is a signal.
Isolation.
Yes, that's a signal of a potential really serious conflagration of all of these events all coming together at the same time. And for people who own companies, sort of taking it back to the AI piece of it, if you're not respecting employees and only just throwing AI in their face and saying this is the future, buy it or leave, you're going to have some issues. And that's not going to help the situation, to her bigger point, to sort of ease sort of the tension and anxiety that's out there. That's I think, a very valid point that she's making.
I think it's a very valid point too. I don't know how because it's so many different levels, like to a certain extent, whether you like President Trump or not, I don't think you can argue that he's bringing us together and that he is someone who promotes certainty or a calmness as far as, I think, leadership, like brave leadership as far as like we're going to get through this, and recognizing that there is an uncertainty. But I think I was talking about this with my brother as far as it's not just here. Like around the world,
it's everywhere.
Countries are going through massive change. Like UK's not doing great. Canada's not doing great. Germany's not doing great. Like there's a lot of shifting forces that are bigger than I think my brain can actually comprehend when we talk about like changing markets and changing with the introduction of AI and what that's going to do to people's jobs, geopolitically where things are happening, just when we talk about the dollar every week and like what does that actually mean, and gold going up and gold going down. And I don't know how you lead through that, whether you are a CEO, a mid-level manager, or the president, beyond just being certain yourself, which I don't know if you can be, because I don't think we're wired for this.
No, I mean, and there's certainly, just like, we're going to rewire manufacturing, with robots, I think all of us have to sort of reassess where we fit into this equation. And for all of those people out there saying, I'm not sure, well, time to get sure. You're going to have to start reevaluating everything you do in your life. How you spend is part of that equation. How you live your life. How you approach work. All of these things are going to be part of this conversation. And not to make it about the president, because frankly, I've been pretty vocal about all the leaders. They are basically abdicating responsibility. Here's an example. The U.S. House of Representatives, their calendar is empty for like the month. How is that even possible? We know
They've
why.
been gone for a month,
Yeah,
too.
we know why that is. Because Speaker Mike Johnson is afraid of a vote that will happen once he swears in the newest member. That's all it is. So when you have pure politics, pure partisan politics, overriding every other consideration, including how we manage all this stuff that's happening at an ever-increasing pace, how we manage our government, how we manage our investments and our dollars, no surprise, there's going to be some anxiety, and I think it's going to shake out at some point in a very distinct way. Two ways it could happen. And I hate this word, depression. Or
economic depression.
Yeah. Or a significant change in how we view politics and how we approach electing our leaders. And that's a warning sign for elected leaders, because at some point, the public hopefully will say, this ain't working for me, see you later. And that goes for Trump, everybody else on both sides. Sorry, you've been around too long. You got to go. Quick break. Point taken, 620 WTMJ.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
More and more these days, people who are in pain are taking control of their health and looking beyond traditional medicine. Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi. People just like me and you are finding lasting relief without steroids, medications, or surgery. Right here in Milwaukee, I love this. QC Kinetics. I'm a patient. I just wrapped up 5 series of treatments to fix my elbow, which is fantastic. Here's how it works. Your blood contains tiny but mighty healing tools. At QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli and her team get to the root of where your pain stems from. For me, it was my elbow. They concentrate these natural healing tools in the exact location by putting these natural elements to work. Your body can actually fix and revitalize your joints using your own power to heal. It's a simple injection, not a hospital stay, all fast, all natural, no downtime. Go right back to work, backs, knees, shoulders, elbows, whatever you need. Call QC Kinetics today. Schedule a free consultation with Dr. Caravelli and her team, who are fantastic, by the way. Take charge of your health and look beyond the same old solutions. Your first consultation is free. There's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics now, 414-667-5559. One more time, 414-667-5559.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. It goes fast. Winter is right around the corner. Hometown Windows and Doors will help you keep the warmth in and the cold out with energy-efficient windows and doors from top brands like Pella, Marvin, and Anderson. Hometown is here for you. They listen. Hometown will help you find the products for your home, your budget, and your style. Visit their beautiful showroom in New Berlin today. Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
Enjoy a free prime rib dinner tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds, recently voted the best supper club in the area. WTMJ's John Mercure here, and with the fall colors, it's a great time to experience the Fox and Hounds near Holy Hill. It's been serving fabulous dinners for almost 90 years in their rustic timber building. Every Wednesday and Saturday, when you buy one prime rib dinner, your second is free. Also, order your favorite steak, seafood, grilled salmon, a big salad, the ribs, even steak and lobster, anything on the menu. Your second dinner is free tonight. Sip on a delicious Manhattan, enjoy an old-fashioned, check out the bourbons, or select from over 100 wines. The Fox and Hound sits in the Kettle Moraine Forest. The setting is beautiful. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. With the fall colors, the drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is spectacular. Those fall colors look great in the beer garden they've got, too. A Wisconsin must-see. Enjoy your free prime rib dinner tonight. Tables are available. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Got some news coming up at the bottom of the hour for you kids. That's 10:30. I just love saying that. Do you think the kids look at the clock the way I looked at the clock, like the hands?
No, I actually know that. So I was just with family over the weekend. So my brother-in-law's parents, who are wonderful. Jan, if you're listening, hi. And she was saying she works as a social worker at her school, and she would force kids to learn how to read the clock, because they would like look at her and be like, "Why? What's the what is that?" Basically, and she would sit in there with them and try to teach them how to like actually read a clock. Which I don't understand why they don't still teach that. It's not like watches are going out of style.
Why do they stop teaching kids how to write? So, busy days, teaching them all the other stuff instead of the basics. I could get wound up on that topic anytime. We have an interesting half hour coming up because, as you know, I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. But when I see stupidity, I'm going to call it out. And to have this idea that there's no rules for guns, I know there's the constitutional carry folks out there. I think you're a very small number of people. And I know a lot of gun owners, and they don't buy into this no rules stuff.
Do you know many people who carry a gun with them at all times?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, what's a lot? I know a few. Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. I don't know if I know any who are just like always carrying.
Yeah. And they're responsible gun owners. They had training.
No, I
They
know.
have
I'm
a
just saying,
permit.
like, I would be interested. I know we don't have the time to get into it now, of like their mindset of why they want to carry all the time.
Yeah, so we're gonna dissect that one. A new bill introduced in the legislature, at least looking for co-sponsorship about allowing concealed carry without permits. Interesting concept. And while we at it, let's just throw out all the training and all the responsible things that most gun owners, most reasonable people that I know that have firearms always use. All right, local news coming up before we get to that. Here's the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is asking the Trump administration to stop destruction of the White House East Wing, which is being torn down to make room for President Trump's ballroom. The preservation says a legally required public review process on the project was never held. A second Trump-Putin summit on ending the war in Ukraine is now off. ABC's Mary Bruce has more from the White House.
It is just the latest example of Trump being courted by Putin, then painting a rosy picture of negotiations, only for Putin to pull back. And the timing here is critical. Putin floated this new summit the day before Ukrainian President Zelensky came here to the White House to ask President Trump for powerful Tomahawk missiles capable of striking deep inside Russia, which Putin obviously opposes. Zelensky then walking away empty-handed as Trump eyed this new Putin summit.
Overnight, Russia launched multiple drones and rockets into Ukraine, killing half a dozen people. This is ABC News.
But at WTMJ News Time 10:31, I'm Connie Weber. One person killed, 4 others hurt in a crash in Dane County. Police say an SUV was headed south on I-90, lost control near McFarland, rolled several times across the median. Happened around 4:30 p.m. Tuesday and closed the interstate for about 3 hours afterward. A Eustisford man accused of setting a fire at a Horicon bar Sunday night. Dodge County Sheriff's Office says people were still inside the bar on East Lake Street when fire broke out around 9 p.m. Crews rescued an upstairs tenant who was trapped on the roof and safely evacuated everybody else. Investigators believe the fire was intentionally set by a disgruntled customer. The accused, 42-year-old Kevin Lentz, was arrested. Major construction project in Milwaukee County gets started next week. The I-94 East-West project will close lanes from 70th to 16th Street and will impact parts of the stadium, Marquette, and Zoo interchanges. Projects expected to take about 7 years to complete. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 160 points, 46,764. NASDAQ down 246 at 22,707. S&P 500 down 37 points at 6,698. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still have that right lane blocked. I-41 south at the ramp from Highway 145. That is, there is a truck blocking that. I-43 south about a half mile beyond the ramp from Beecher. Right shoulder they're blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly cloudy, windy, cool, slight chance of showers today. Only going to get up to around 48. Slight chance of rain tonight. Cloudy, breezy with a low of 39. Sunny, 51 tomorrow. Frost possible Friday morning, then sunshine, high 53. Sunny on Saturday, 56 for the high, and partly cloudy and 60 on Sunday. Still 46 in Madison, 47 in Green Bay, 46 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Half a century of marketing expertise joined with over 20 years of local market knowledge. Not to mention the savings you'll see after you get our best commission right up front, which, by the way, is only 1.9% on the listing side of your home. Join that together and you can be sure that you've chosen the right real estate experts who have the experience to market your home effectively and give you a commission that'll end up paying for things like new furniture. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. They saved over $50,000 after we sold their home at only 1.9%. You don't have to pay 6% to market and sell your home. Hundreds of Century 21 Benefit Realty clients will attest. You can get it all for only 1.9%. The more value your home has, the more important it is to find the best real estate commission and the marketing ability to get top dollar. And with Century 21 behind us, that's what we have. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
All types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
With over 57 years of experience, family-owned Yutka Fence installs high-quality fencing with residential options including vinyl, wood, aluminum, chain link, and ornamental fences. Committed to craftsmanship and customer service, Yutka Fence doesn't just build fences, they build relationships based on care, trust, precision, and protecting what matters most. Mention you're a WTMJ fan for 10% off your project. Schedule your free estimate today at yutkafence.com or call 262-859-3226.
Thanks for tuning in to Point Taken on this Wednesday Hump Day edition. Always appreciate you. If you miss any or all of our conversation or conversations to come, you can find it at the podcast page at WTMJ.com or wherever you get your podcast. Point Taken, simple way to do that. And don't forget our podcast outside of the show. You need to listen. Awesome. Every other week we do a hot topic, sort of an extended conversation. And the last couple have been really, really good, really emotional, hard conversations.
The last one especially was
I think we were just weary that day. There was a lot going on. We had a lot of recording, and it was a good conversation, and people that have listened to it said the same thing to me. It's like, wow, you guys really dug deep on that. So that's sort of what we do in that podcast. You need to listen. Also, don't forget Scaffidi. Got some great ones coming up throughout the rest of this year. I do that every other week as well. You can find those at wherever you get your podcast. That one's called Scaffidi. Not the most original name in the world, but clever.
I like it.
Clever.
Why do you think it's not original? It's your last name.
I stole the idea from someone else.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why. So I know it's not original. Basically, because I just admitted I stole the idea from someone. All good ideas, mostly. You're layering on
Are there
somebody
any
else.
original ideas anymore?
Well, there has to be. Someone had to invent the wheel, right? At some point?
I know, but that's what I mean, anymore.
Yeah, harder.
It's like the same 12 stories or something that always get retold in one way or another.
Yeah. Now, speaking of trying to reinvent the wheel, although it's sort of a weird connection to this story. So the headline is this, and Again, I don't want to be accused of just piling on Republicans, although they do irritate me a lot, even though I am one. This is the headline. Great story written by Hope Carnop at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Wisconsin Republicans introduced a bill to allow concealed carry without permit. And they also propose stronger constitutional right to bear arms. It's called constitutional carry. Something, by the way, that former Governor Scott Walker did not sign up for, was not a fan of. And basically, it's sort of
And I'm pretty sure current Governor Evers would also not sign.
It's an interesting proposal. They're looking for co-sponsorship. A couple of our legislators from New Franken, Wisconsin, Senator Andre Jacques, and State Rep Chance Green, who I don't know, and I've never interviewed him, from Grandview. They wrote a memo. This is what it said. For many Wisconsinites, firearm and archery traditions are more than recreation. They're a way of life passed down through generations. I don't disagree with that at all.
I think that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Hunting, sports shooting, and self-defense are deeply woven into the fabric of both our rural and urban communities, the bill authors said. Absolutely. But their idea is this. They don't want any rules. No permits. We've already gone down this road of no training, which any responsible gun owner that I know, and I know a lot of them because I hunt with people. I've sports shot on occasion, shot clay pigeons on a few occasions in the state of Wisconsin and beyond. They're not in favor of this. And one has to wonder what the motivation to stuff like this is.
Well, I think that's my actual question to anyone who is listening and can answer this. Like, as far as Wisconsin state law goes, like when it comes to guns, what can't you do right now that you feel infringed upon?
They want to be able to walk around with guns wherever they want to.
They can, if they get the permit, they can do that.
There's still limits. You can't go into a school zone. You can't go on a plane.
Okay.
There is a group of people in this country who believe there should be absolutely no rules. If they want to put a weapon on them and walk onto a plane, they should be able to do that, as long as they're not a criminal. That's the only qualifier, a felon. Other than that, they should be able to do that. I don't think that's the way we should approach this. I understand what the Second Amendment says. It doesn't say anything like that. There's limits to everything. So what if someone has the means, do they get to acquire a nuclear bomb? I know it's an extreme example, but you have a billionaire. I want to have my own nuclear weapon. I guess you could do that.
I want my own armed militia.
Yes. And that's the problem, right? So whenever you throw out all the rules, whatever the rules or the topic is, it generally creates chaos. And I will caution people who think like this. And yeah, you may be a law-abiding citizen. That's great. Thanks for following the rules. Appreciate you. There's reasons and restrictions for everything, and there's also responsibilities tied to gun ownership. And that's using them responsibly. That's understanding the weapons that you have, knowing the limits, treat every gun as if it was loaded, know your target and beyond, all the basic things you learned. I learned in hunter safety many, many years ago when I was 12 years old that I still remember today. There's a reason why we do this, because just having a firearm, which is so easy to get now, doesn't mean you're qualified to walk around with that in a public setting. That's my concern. I understand what the Constitution says. And I'm not advocating for gun seizure or taking away guns from people, but I also think there's a reasonable limits. And I think if we're going to just go to this chaos, Wild West scenario where everybody can do whatever they want, how'd the Wild West work out for some people?
Well, actually,
not too well.
I remember reading a historical rendition, like they tracked that down. There actually was a lot of rules in the Wild West. There was a lot of the taverns and stuff that you could not go into, or when you went into even into two towns, like when you would go from town to town, which obviously were very spread far apart, you had to sacrifice your gun for the sake of the safety, because people, that was the rule. That was what the sheriff said. And so it's kind of a misnomer that in the Wild West, everyone was just shooting each other all the time.
I guess.
I'll find the article. It was very interesting.
Well, there's articles that back up any point, but all I know is the characterization of the Wild West, I think, is pretty accurate. And if you didn't like somebody, you could shoot them in the head, and unless they caught you, you were probably going to walk free. So, I mean, that's sort of my expectation of how that played out.
Too many movies.
Probably. Too many Westerns, too many Clint Eastwood movies. Maybe. I'm curious what you think on this, because I know that there's a strong focus now by the Constitution and Carry folks to sort of put these ideas forward. And part of it's the timing. I think Republicans in the legislature may know that their ability to do whatever they want is maybe time-stamped at some point here, and that may be shifting, and they won't be able to do these sort of things. I would also caution them, because part of this thing is also changing the Constitution. Can we stop changing the Constitution every time we have an election? We went many, many years without doing any of this stuff. Now we want to change it every time we have an election. Let's change this. Let's change that. How about we don't do that? How about we sort it out in the legislature and not go to the constitutional ask right away? That'll be my ask. What do you think? 855-616-1620. No rules, no permits, essentially unregulated constitutional carry. Not a fan. I'm assuming you're not a fan either.
I am also not a fan.
All right. What do you think? 855-616-1620 on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house? Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Snap a pic of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one you're tired of. And enter now at WTMJ.com. Sidex makes it easy to go from fright to fabulous.
Did you know that October is National Pizza Month? Yes, I challenge you to turn your taste buds upside down with Stranger Things Surfer Boy Frozen Pizza. Because yes, the last season of Stranger Things is just around the corner. So you can fuel up for one last adventure, being the Stranger Things last season. There are 4 bodacious flavors, and you can collect the Wicked limited edition sticker that comes in each box. Find them at your local grocer, Pick and Save, Metro Market, Piggly Wiggly, Walmart, and others. Grab yours today.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
It's like you don't want to even do anything anymore. You lay in bed in the morning, putting off the pain. You put off your workouts. You put off your walks. And yard work, that's just not even an option anymore. As we speak, pain is taking away more and more from your life. And unless you take action, it's going to get worse. And that's no way to live. Not when there's a Rejuvenex clinic nearby. because the power of Toradol, joined with the wonder of hyaluronic acid, can alleviate your pain, and it can allow you to start living your life again. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, Rejuvenex treatments are affordable. They're FDA approved, and in many cases, our patients pay nothing at all, because insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pay for them. If your pain just won't go away, you should call Rejuvenex today.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Google reviews will tell you it's worth a try.
What's up, Prochachos? Ready for an epic Stranger Things watch party?
Grab a tasty slice of Stranger Things Surfer Boy pizza. It's the tubular frozen pizza that tastes like it came straight from Hawkins to your oven.
Whoa, this pie? Totally righteous.
With 4 bodacious flavors, you're sure to find one that totally rocks. Plus, you can collect the wicked limited edition sticker that comes in each box.
Now that my taste buds are upside down, let's get this watch party started.
Stranger Things Surfer Boy pizza. Grab your gang and fuel up for one last adventure.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands.
Lots of feedback on the talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Deciding Unlimited talk and text line, 855-616-1620. We have to here's from the 414. We have to register our cars. We have to get insurance. Not the same thing, but what if we had to do that with the guns that we legally own to have them, but we have to jump through some hoops? Look, there are differences between the gun argument and insurance and car, vehicle, all that stuff. It's not constant. There were no cars in the Constitution. Let's put it that way. That's the simplest way to dismiss that argument. There are rules though, and a texter, and I got to make sure. Yeah, this is I think the point exactly. 608. The amendment says well-regulated militia. To me and to the texter, regulation suggests laws, restrictions, responsibilities. And a texter continues, people like to ignore that part. Yeah, they do. And there's another piece of this.
Well, courts like to ignore that part, right?
Yes,
I mean, as far as the interpretation of the law as it's been had over the almost 250 years of how that's been interpreted and then applied has shifted depending on the court cases and the judges.
And as a gun owner, I always appreciate what other gun owners say. This is a great text from the 414 as well. This is a nonsensical proposal. Doesn't serve the people, and it wastes time and energy. My husband and I are both gun owners. We have concealed carry permits. No reasonable gun owner wants people to be able to run around with no training and no responsibility. It makes the lawmakers sound ridiculous for coming up with such a proposal when there's so much our state actually needs our representatives to focus on. There's also a weird thing in here about having sales on, I think it's the 4th of July and the 3rd week of December. No sales tax.
No sales tax.
I guess I would need to have that explained to me what's the point of that? So we want to encourage more gun sales on those days? We can't even manage fireworks on the 4th of July. You want to add guns to the mix? Seriously, what are you doing? It seemed it added more nonsense to what was already, to me, a ridiculous proposal. When I see stuff like this, it drives me nuts.
And we have one from the 414 saying, I'm a concealed carry permit holder. I'm on both sides of this. First, the Second Amendment is the right to keep and bear arms. It does not say only if you have a permit. 2, but I do believe in the training. We have way too many idiots walking around with guns. So yes, I am all in on the side of more training being required. The current requirements are a complete joke.
Yeah. How many of us, raise your hand out there in Radio Land, have seen these idiots who dress themselves up in the paramilitary gear and they want to act like they're going to be, we're in charge, even though you're just a guy walking around the street doing nothing responsibly. That's the problem here. I agree with the texters. There's too many idiots out there. You can pretend, and this happens a lot on talk radio, that there's not a problem with mass shootings. There is a problem with mass shootings. There is a problem anytime a child is killed in a school. That should not be our reality. That's not the price of freedom. That's a negative. We should do everything we can to control that negative or eliminate it as much as we can. Nothing's perfect. So when I see people saying and doing things like this where basically, and I'm paraphrasing, no rules, just do what you want. Responsible gun owners will handle it. How's that worked out so far? We have more guns than people. We have people that have firearms certainly all over the place, all around us. How's that working out? We're more violent than we've ever been.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that the stats actually say that we're less. They're like the gun deaths are going down from where we were in like the 90s.
Okay. How about the 60s?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
You can pick and
stats.
choose any argument you want to make. 60s, we had a violent explosion in this country with gun deaths. It depends on how you cherry pick your stories and your narratives. Do you not agree there's a problem in this country with gun deaths?
Absolutely. I just think that there is also progress that we've made on violence. And so I think that there's it's more nuanced than that as far as understanding that there is more gun deaths for sure. But I just want to be accurate when we say that if you say we're more violent than we've ever been, I don't think that's true.
We're more violent in some areas and some not. We've done the statistics on this. In some areas where we didn't have reckless driving problems 30 years ago, we do now. You can cherry pick whatever you want to make it sound like things aren't that bad. I'm telling you, they're that bad, and this makes it worse. That's my point.
I know. I think we're on this situation. I think we're both saying that we don't think you should just be able to have a gun and have no permit. I think there's also conversation around the training that is required, and this is the ongoing conversation with the Second Amendment. I just want to know, one, from the political stance of this, who is asking for this beyond the legislators themselves?
Constitutional carry folks.
But then, and how popular would this be? Because a polling says it would not be popular. But also, what is the use and the energy put towards them proposing this, knowing that Governor Evers is absolutely not going to sign it?
Correct. And again, maybe it's a last-ditch attempt to try to hold on to some power. I don't know. This is from the 262 before we go to break. Wisconsin is an open carry state, so everyone can have a gun. If you're going to conceal carry, you should have a permit. At least this could weed out someone who should not have a gun. Doesn't the legislature have better things to do? Which many people have echoed that same comment. I understand these are hard conversations, but I'm going to go back to my general observation about our culture. It's violence. It's violent in the words we choose to attack each other.
That's true. I think that there's in our nomenclature and stuff, I think we're a more violent country compared to other countries.
And I have a feeling that if we take all the restrictions and rules associated with gun ownership away, it's not going to be less violent. That's my fear. But maybe I could be proven wrong, and if we go down this road...
the good guy with a gun beats a bad guy with a gun?
I think the good guy with a gun thing has been proven not to work because we have incredible issues with guns and violence. So, I mean, if you want to make that argument, make it. Certainly we can talk about it after the break. Point taken. 620 WTMJ.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Gadish Foundation. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I can't believe it myself. I started my journey in January, lost 40-some pounds, 45 I think today. After being in the maintenance phase over the summer months, I'm back in the reduction phase. Going to lose a few more pounds before the end of the year. Holidays are coming. Milwaukee Weight Loss has helped me feel better, stronger, and more confident than I have in years. If you're frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots, some of the gimmicky stuff, meals, bar, shakes, Milwaukee Weight Loss can help you lose the weight without the crazy workouts, all the things I just talked about, none of that stuff. Just real results that last. The program resets your metabolism. Honest to God, it worked for me. It can work for you. Many patients, just like me, lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a month or two. Stop the yo-yo stuff. Take control of your weight and your life. There's a smarter, faster, and safer way to reach your goals. And that's what Milwaukee Weight Loss. They're an incredible team. Great coaches, by the way. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or call 262-393-2334.
I'm with James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark. He oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors. Preston, you get the benefit of one-on-one relationships with the James team, like when your sales rep said something unexpected. What did they say?
hey, this is a little high. You're not printing as much as we thought you were going to print.
Then the James team member had even better news.
Correct. Let's bring that down. Let's make it a little cheaper and still keep you on the same program.
The James Managed Print Services Program. All your document output devices bundled under one invoice that includes service and supplies for one low cost per print. Nice, right, Preston?
Yes, felt great. Felt secure, Don't have to worry about, again, somebody just coming in and selling something and then walking away and never hearing from them again.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history, like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right. Work through that first hour. We got a second hour and an early edition of Ask Us Anything coming up at about 11:08. And then a great guest at the bottom of the hour after the news, topic we talked about yesterday on the show.
Yeah. Danielle Duclos from Cap Times, who actually has a new article out this morning. So it's a whole series that she's doing as far as how misconduct investigations are being tracked both at the district level and at the state level. And so we're going to talk about the one that came out last week and also the one that came out this morning with Danielle coming up at 11:35.
And as far as I can tell, still crickets from the superintendent of public instruction in the state of Wisconsin.
Well, they released a letter.
Yeah, spokesperson.
They've released a letter asking for a correction from the original article. I spoke to someone from DPI yesterday. It sounds like there's going to be someone providing testimony tomorrow during the hearing in the assembly. I don't know if it's going to be Dr. Jill Underly or not. It feels like it should be, but this is obviously this article has done what good journalism should do. It's open to conversation. It's shed a light on something that hopefully now our lawmakers are going to prioritize and actually start changing state statute.
I'll hit it harder. Jill Underly is hiding behind her spokesperson in her department. She's the leader of the department. This issue, financial reporting in the state from school districts, they fall on her. She's the leader.
I agree
and
with
if I see one more, from the emails that I have seen from her desk, if I see one more, I don't understand this, from someone who's supposed to be leading a department that's really important in the state of Wisconsin, that's a failure. It's an epic fail. So stop hiding behind your spokesperson. And if you really want to address this and put it to bed, to use that term, do some media. Come on our show. Open invitation. We'll give you a full hour on the show. We can talk about all this stuff. Don't be afraid to confront the public on the really important issues facing education in the state. Because frankly, you may be the problem, at least part of the problem, when it comes to the failures that are happening in our school system. I'll say it, because apparently no one else wants to.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature, sponsored by the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Breast reconstruction is an important aspect of comprehensive breast cancer care, offering the opportunity to restore breast shape following mastectomy. Here to tell us more about breast reconstruction, including timing and approaches to reconstruction, is Dr. Patrick Hettinger, a Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin plastic surgeon. Dr. Hettinger, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
What is breast reconstruction?
So breast reconstruction is part of the surgical care for our breast cancer patients. Essentially, in breast reconstruction, there are sort of two paths that a patient can go down. One path involves an implant-based reconstruction. We restore size, shape, and symmetry using a highly cohesive silicone implant. The other road that patients can go down uses their own tissue.
How do patients choose which option might be best for them?
Deciding on the appropriate breast reconstruction is really a team-based approach. The patient is the ultimate decider. However, with input from the surgical team, team, we develop a treatment plan that is ideal for that patient. So in an implant-based reconstruction, the biggest pro is that the recovery time is a little bit less. However, implants may need to be exchanged over time. We also take into account donor sites if patients have adequate tissue to offer for breast reconstruction.
What about those that maybe choose not to have the reconstruction? Is that sometimes a viable option?
Certainly, John. In some cases, patients may elect not to undergo breast reconstruction, which may be appropriate for that individual. And down the road, if they decide that breast reconstruction is something that is of interest to them, we are always available to discuss their options.
Why should patients choose the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network for their reconstruction?
At Froedtert and the Medical College, we have a comprehensive approach to breast reconstruction with fellowship-trained surgeons and oncologists. We offer the most cutting-edge techniques and the most advanced techniques in breast reconstruction.
The latest options available at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Dr. Patrick Hettinger, thanks for being with us today. Find a doctor who's right for you by visiting Froedtert.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11:02, mostly cloudy, windy, and cool. Slight chance of showers today. We're going to stay in the upper 40s. Right now, we're at 47. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Health officials finding more cases of lead poisoning statewide. Wisconsin Department of Health Services says lead testing for kids under the age of 6 up 26%. With the increase in testing, more than 4,800 kids were identified with lead poisoning last year. Lead can be found in paint, dust, pipes, soil in or around older homes and buildings. The HS encouraging parents to get their kids tested and take necessary steps for at-home prevention. A tentative labor agreement's been reached between the city of Milwaukee and the Milwaukee Police Association.
City and union leaders say the new contract would cover a majority of the Milwaukee Police Department's law enforcement officers. While terms of the agreement are still unknown, it still needs to be approved by the police union and the Milwaukee Common Council. A finalized agreement would end the arbitration that has been underway for the past few weeks. Milwaukee police officers have been working 3 years without a contract. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Democrats and Republicans no closer to reaching a deal that would reopen the federal government. Most Democrats holding steady on their position to talk about extending health care tax credits before reopening the government. But ABC's Jay O'Brien says Republicans aren't making any moves either and say they won't talk until the government's open.
What we heard from Democratic leaders yesterday is that they demanded a White House meeting with President Trump to try to negotiate this. And President Trump came out later before cameras and said that he would be happy to meet with them, but only after the government reopened, essentially saying he would meet with Democrats, but only after they caved. And so neither side has really moved from that position.
The Senate will try to vote for a 12th time now to end the partial shutdown that's on day 22. Work continues at the White House and the president's plans to add a ballroom to the complex. It's included demolition of large parts of the East Wing, despite President Trump's earlier statements that the project wouldn't interfere with the structure of the White House. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
Now, Trump had said that the East Wing is being, quote, fully modernized as part of the process to build his massive $250 million ballroom, which he insists is privately funded. But the National Trust for Historic Preservation is urging the administration to pause demolition until the construction plans can go through the legally required public review process.
Cost of that ballroom, $250 million. Wisconsin lawmakers proposing a bipartisan bill to legalize online sports betting, but only through tribal casinos. The plan would create a hub-and-spoke model with tribal casinos serving as the hub for online wagers. That means popular platforms like DraftKings and FanDuel would be off limits. Supporters say the online betting could boost tax revenue and benefit tribal communities. The bill has to pass the state legislature, and tribal gaming complex would need federal approval before any online betting could begin. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are down. Dow off 146 points. The Nasdaq down 201. S&P 500 down 29. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 11:05.
Wholesale mulch? No problem. We deliver to residential or wholesale accounts, and we can supply you with whatever volume of the highest quality mulch you need. Nobody around here has more mulch than Erickson's. We'll deliver you a 1-yard pickup truck load all the way up to 100 yards in a walking floor trailer. And if you just need a little bit, swing by and we'll fill up a 5-gallon bucket or two. It's the best mulch you'll find. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our decorative stone is available by the handful for pickup, all the way up to 24-ton load deliveries. And our stone is superlative. We scour the countryside, countrywide, from Arizona to the Carolinas. We search pretty much the whole U.S. of A. to find you easily the best stone selection in southeastern Wisconsin. See a rainbow of decorative stone colors to match any exterior decor. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
They pretty much weren't doing anything. I couldn't ride a bicycle. You don't have your life because you don't have your mobility.
So when Patrick heard about QC Kinetics and their non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain, no waiting, he called them immediately.
There's no downtime. There's no rehab. That was the tipping point for me. I didn't have to take any drugs. I didn't have to rehab.
Before considering surgery, check out QC Kinetics' all-natural treatment options that restore and repair damaged joint tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
If you have knee replacement surgery, and then the knee is not yours, and there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful.
QC Kinetics. Patients around the country are raving about the results. They're getting back their mobility, taking back their lives with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. NBA's regular season begins tonight for the new-look Milwaukee Bucks.
Gone are Brooke Lopez and Pat Connaughton. In are 5 new players contributing to a new style of play.
Our speed and depth are so much different. Guys are like having fun. Like there's a real energy.
Bucks president Peter Fagan is enamored with key off-season addition, 6'11" center Miles Turner.
He loves being here. He's going to be around the city. And then on the court, he is incredibly athletic, incredibly smart.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Bucks host Chris Middleton and the Washington Wizards tonight. Coverage begins at 6:30 right here on WTMJ. Green Bay will hit the road to take on the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers Sunday night. Badgers face number 6 Oregon on Saturday. Badgers Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 south at the ramp from Highway 145. Right lane was blocked due to a disabled vehicle. That truck has been moved off. Should be all clear. 43 south, about a half mile away on the ramp from Beecher. Right shoulder there blocked due to a broken down vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cloudy, windy, cool today. Slight chance of showers. We're going to stay about where we are now, 47, 48 for the high. Overnight low tonight, 39 with a slight chance of showers. Sunny tomorrow with a high 51. Frost Friday morning, mostly sunny with a high 53. Sunshine on Saturday, high 56. And partly cloudy and 60 on Sunday. 45 in Madison, 47 in Green Bay and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Now it's time for Ask Us Anything on Point Taken. Got a burning question? Give us a call or text on the Siding Unlimited Talk and Text line at 855-616-1620.
An earlier than usual Ask Us Anything, because we have a special guest coming up at 11:35. So yes, shoot us your text. Your questions via text, 855-616-1620, or give us a call. I'll start with this one.
Okay.
Because it's kind of fun. So while you were out, we did this. And someone who prefaced their text saying, I like Steve a lot, but then also asked, what is the hardest thing about working with Steve Scaffidi? And I had a hard time coming up with something. I was very complimentary as far as how much fun I have doing this show with you. And the only thing I could come up with that wasn't even hard, but it is a difference, is we have very different prep styles.
Mm-hmm.
And I was honest about that. So I would ask you, what is the hardest thing about working with me?
The hardest thing about working with Kristin, well, the different prep styles is certainly something, because you dig deep. You like shut down for like an hour. I don't do. I like to engage and sort of start the conversation, kind of get it going. You like to just
I like to study.
Yeah, well, I do too, but I do that like the night before.
Well, I have a child at home, so this is once we decide what we're going to talk about for the day, I have to go study it.
I don't have challenges because I like working with you. So for me, it's like there's not a negative there. And I, as much as people say that, I'm a jerk, I'm usually not a jerk.
I don't think you're a jerk.
I'll be a jerk to you if you're a jerk to me, though. I mean, that's sort of the way I do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess wouldn't most people be that?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be like seashells and balloons for someone that's treating you like, you know what? So I guess that's my thing. I think most people that meet me understand how I'm wired. I admit to being the old man in the room. I always admit that because I am. I'm 67.
Oh, yeah, we missed your birthday while you were gone. Happy belated birthday.
Thanks for that. I had a fantastic birthday in Sicily, and they were so nice to me. The whole restaurant sang to me, which is, I'll never forget that. And it was recorded.
I do like how you turn it around on you, though. I asked what was hard about working about me,
I
and you
said
started
nothing.
talking about yourself.
I said nothing. I can't, there's not really.
I said nothing, too. When it was
the reason this works is because we sort of play off each other.
Well, we get each other.
Yeah.
I think that's why it really works.
And it is, again, not to pat ourselves on the back, but that is what is unique about this show. As much as everybody tries to lump talk radio together, this is not the same thing. It's not party talking points. It's not yelling on the mic for 3 hours about things you're angry about. We try to dig deep. Like, for example, the story we're going to do at 10:35. We dig a little deeper on the stories that are in the paper.
I agree.
And on the internet. So I think that's the way we do it. When is Steve finally going to retire? Right after? Stay tuned. I guess I'll answer it that way.
Do you feel like but you still got a lot left in the tank.
I do.
You got a lot of energy.
I still like going to work.
You are constantly signing up for a new podcast to go to. So
I think my count is 6 at the moment.
Whew. Have you done another Cheap Seats?
No, that's on Alex Strofe.
Okay.
The dude's busy.
He is busy.
No, I've been giving him a lot of grief about that because at this point we should have had episode 2 already in the can.
Only had done 1.
Yeah. And it was well received, too. So I don't know what his problem is. And he's a brilliant sports broadcaster. Maybe can't handle the heat. Coming in the ring with the guy that talks politics and other things.
Yeah, I think Alex could talk politics if he needed to.
Alex,
I don't know.
He just doesn't like to. He doesn't like to.
All right. Who do you think is the best comedian out there right now? That's hard.
Everybody's different.
It's such a subjective... I did not get to see the show, but Patton Oswalt was here for the Milwaukee Comedy Fest.
Very funny.
And I heard he was very good.
Yeah.
He was but he's definitely up there.
With Manifalco, the Italian comic from Chicago. Oh, he's funny.
He is funny.
Only maybe because I'm Italian.
My favorite female comic right now is Taylor Tomlinson. I also saw Eliza Schlesinger when she was here.
She's really good.
She was very funny. I saw she was here the same night that the Brewers beat the Cubs because that's why I couldn't go to the game. She was very funny. She's an unbelievable performer.
Now, my pal, Chelsea Handler, who I appeared on stage with in Appleton, I still think she's doing some great work.
I haven't seen her. I just saw her do stand-up in San Francisco
She's coming
years
to Milwaukee,
ago.
I think,
I haven't
in
seen
the
her
spring.
stand-up in a while.
Yeah, she's really good. And her podcast is good, too.
I didn't know she had everyone has a podcast.
Everybody's got a podcast.
But yeah, I think best comedian, I think comedy is kind of hard in the same way that choosing a best actor any given year is hard. Like performances are performances and everyone has their thing that makes them good. I think comedy is great right now. There's a lot of really good comedians out there.
Where are you on Nate Bargatze? Somebody suggested him.
Do I think he's the best comic? No. I think he's great. I laugh at his stuff. It's very clean humor.
Yeah, he's playing stadiums.
It's very like 90s sitcom dad humor. And I think he's very good.
He's like the new version of Jeff Foxworthy.
Yes, but he doesn't make me think. Like my style of comedy that I really like is the people who are both very funny and also shift the way you think about certain things. And like before Louis C.K. got canceled, I think he was very good at that.
I mean, I saw George Carlin perform live
Yes,
at
like
the
he's the
Laugh
king of
Stop
that,
in
right?
like 81. Brilliance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a maestro orchestrating the words that he's saying on stage live in front of an audience. And I'll
Just
never
love to write.
I can take myself back to that moment because just he was so brilliant in how he laid out his jokes and how funny he was and all the things that go with that. Gaffigan, another one of those.
You don't like Gaffigan?
I saw him in Vegas last year. I didn't think he was that funny.
I guess I've never seen Gaffigan live. His delivery is just
it's
methodical. I think for some people that maybe they don't like it, but sometimes I think his delivery. He has a whole shtick on because he has like 5 kids.
Oh yeah.
So I saw him do. It wasn't his stand up. Maybe it's his stand up, but this was an interview on one of the late night shows of him talking about graduating to trying to parent teenagers, of like how you think you know what you're doing at the toddler stage, and all of a sudden you get teenagers, and you're like, it was genius. But I don't know. I'm a big comedy stan in general, so can't pick one favorite.
Sebastian Maniscalco is the name. And he's
That's a
very
name.
funny. He's very
That is a
funny.
name.
And he also does little short videos, which I just crack up because he's also in that Nate Bargatze mode where his wife's driving him nuts, his kids are driving him nuts, his parents are driving him nuts. That plays people. It's relatable.
Yeah,
I think that's what
it's
good
like
comics
Tim the
do.
Toolman Taylor.
It's why at some point in my life I always thought I could do some stand up.
You should. You should go to an open
I
mic
should.
night. I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll caution you though. It will be
It'll be dirty?
Yeah, it'll be dirty.
All right.
Yeah. Probably like the first 10 words, half of them will be the F word.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You think it'll be funny?
It'll be very funny.
Okay.
Some great questions coming in. We'll get to those after this break here on 620 WTMJ. Stick around.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
Every Monday and Thursday, buy one pizza, get a second pizza absolutely free at the Mineshaft Family Restaurant in downtown Hartford. Google the Mineshaft today.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Avon. I had snoring issues, tossing and turning restless nights to sleep. Relatable? I think so. I met so many people in the last couple of years talking about their issues and how Advent worked for me. And I'll tell you, honestly, it worked for me. If you snore and do all those things, you can do something about it. Go to Advent. Have a conversation. 30-minute visit. Talk to them about what's ailing you in your bed. They'll put you at ease. They may add in a simple sleep study at home in your own bed. But for me, that conversation led to a short procedure. And since that moment, 6 years ago now, sleeping through the whole night, breathing effortlessly, and I don't have to deal with those struggles. And my wife, Kathy, loves the fact that I don't snore anymore. So that's my reality. Find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better. Go to AdventKnows.com. Just schedule an appointment today. What are you waiting for? Deal with it. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Bring every detail of your world into clear focus with personalized eye care at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. The experienced and caring team of eye care professionals at Shopko provide comprehensive eye exams tailored to your unique vision needs. Need glasses, contacts, both? From expert care to the perfect prescription eyewear for your lifestyle. Get everything in one convenient visit. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical. Partners in your eye care.
It's that time of Wednesday. We're doing a little bit earlier
Do
today.
it earlier than we usually do.
Yeah, because we have an important interview coming up at 10:35. Not that all interviews aren't important, but ask us anything. Let's get to it because this is a sports thing, but it's been driving me nuts. Now, you and I talked about this, I think, last week or the week before. I have removed myself from the Wisconsin Badger football scenario. I don't watch the games. I don't really pay attention.
You used to.
I used to host watch parties every home game at my house. I mean, buddies came over, smoked cigars, drink beers, whatever, had food. And at some point, I just got. It's not that I was frustrated with winning. It's just like it plateaued for me.
Because they were never going to break through you didn't feel like they were ever going to break through to the Ohio State SEC teams.
And then Barry Alvarez left, and you and I talked about that, and maybe on one of these episodes of
teammate Barry Alvarez, since he now has a show on ESPN Madison.
So somebody asked about Luke Fickell and about whether he should be fired. And, that's their decision, but if you get shut out 2 games in a row,
you start losing recruits.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. That's pathetic.
Well, I don't know enough about how all of this works. I'm going to be totally honest. As far as contracts work, how recruitment works, how you compete in the day and age of NIL. I do know that they changed the game, right? Like what Wisconsin football was known for was the running game forever. And it was a big swing to have him come in and change his style of football to what Wisconsin style of football had been. I don't know if you go backwards. Like, I don't know if you try to go get like a Jim Leonard who even wants that job.
I'd love to have Jim Leonard because I always liked him.
No,
as a
I know
player
a lot of people liked him, right? And so it's like I don't know the ins and outs of how this would even work to be like, all right, well, this was a failure, and let's go back to what we were doing before. Because like, does what we were doing before work in this new age of recruits getting like $10 million, like 18-year-olds getting an enormous amount of money to go play college football, which like we don't have as a program. Wisconsin does not have. So I know less. I don't want to speak from a place of, do I want the Badgers to be better? Yes. Do I want like how much fun college football is in Madison and it being one of the best college football towns for decades? But as far as what do you do, that is out of my pay grade.
That's a fair answer. I mean, I'm not a sports guy, and I certainly haven't paid attention to the Badgers to know enough about what their situation is, but I know that they're not winning. And when you get shut out again 2 weeks in a row, that's not a good thing. Steve, you need to work 4 more years, then retire. Love your show. You both make my day. Thanks for that, Mike and Fonda.
Why don't you retire on your 70th birthday?
That's a long time from now. You trying to keep me around?
Yes!
Here's the thing. I like to do stuff other than work, right? Now, again, save the tax. I understand I take a lot of vacations. I get it. It's also partner vacations, thanks to Foxwood Travel.
Working when you're,
those are work vacations. Now, I'll be the first one to admit it's work in the loosest definition possible, right? But I enjoy it. And talk about sort of building the show. Those are listeners we're going on these trips with. So set that aside.
And some of them are even fans of mine.
Yes.
Kind of.
I usually poo-poo them and push them to the side and ignore them when they bring that up during Ask Steve Anything segments on my road trips. Steve, why are you so angry?
I don't think you're angry.
Why do you talk over your co-host and guests? We talk over each other all the time. It's just what we do. We talk. Even when we're not on the show, we do that.
So that was one of the questions last week that I forgot to answer. Someone's like, how do you know when the commercials are done? One, we have software that says we can see where the commercials are. But then the follow-up question was, how do you know who gets to talk when? And I was like, oh, that's a free-for-all.
Yeah.
That's if I'm getting the hand gesture that I could tell you are sitting on something that you want to be able to say.
One of the things, what I like about you is the eye contact is big because we have to sort of realize when the other person wants to like jump in. So that, if you notice, if you're watching, I turn my chair. I'm not like staring straight ahead because I'm looking at a big pole that supports this building. I got to have that eye contact, got to see what's on you. I can almost feel it. And we've known each other long enough that we kind of know when we want to jump in with each other. One of the reasons some people don't lead to the angry comment is because I call out BS. And I'm not ever going to be that person who, and I say it, I identify as a Republican, but I'm going to call out Republican BS. I just did it a half hour ago. You got to be smarter than that. This idea that we should rubber stamp everything because so-and-so says it, whether that's a governor or a senator or a president, it's not my thing. I want to critically assess anything that we do or say, and I think we're not perfect. We make mistakes, as do elected officials, but I'm just generally disappointed in the level of the work that's being done or not being done, probably more appropriately, and the analysis of the actions or inaction of our elected officials. There are people that go on shows every day here and elsewhere and just basically read what their party, whatever that affiliation is, wants them to say or wants them to push, almost to the point of the exact words being used across different platforms, different shows. It just seems so disingenuous to me. So I don't want to do that. And that's what the magic of the show, because we both sort of have different sides of the political aisle, which I think can work. I'm married to someone who's on the other side of the political aisle. It can work. Been married 40 years, happily. So take it for what it's worth. Quick break. Got a question? We'll try to squeeze it in before we get to the bottom of the hour on 620 WTMJ. Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi here to talk about my brand new show, WTMJ Outdoors. We love the outdoors in the great state of Wisconsin and beyond. We're going to talk with outdoors experts, bicycling, resort owners, rock climbers, hunting and fishing, camping, all things Wisconsin outdoors. Join us every Saturday, 2 to 3, right here on 620 WTMJ.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest, and time is running out to enter your scary shower, terrifying tub, or your space that just needs a little refresh. So text BOO to the WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620 or head to WTMJ.com to enter and for full contest rules. Hurry now. This is your chance to turn your outdated bathroom into a beautiful treat. Enter now at WTMJ.com.
We all have one. That junk drawer, old keys, dead batteries, a phone charger from 2008. But somewhere in there are the tools you actually need. They're just buried in the clutter. For many people, their finances look the same way. Scattered, outdated, unproductive. A financial junk drawer. At Annex Wealth Management, we help you clean out that junk drawer. Organize what matters, eliminate what doesn't, and plan with purpose. And we'll do it as a fee-only fiduciary. Start today at AnnexWealth.com. That's Annex Wealth Management.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee, home to the state's most up-to-date luxury appliance showroom, featuring top brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Bosch, GE Cafe, and more. They work seamlessly with your designer or contractor. Customize with colors from Blue Star and True Residential. As a small family-owned business with one location, they handle everything from start to finish. Visit ApplianceGalleryWI.com or stop in today.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Enjoy a free prime rib dinner tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds, recently voted the best supper club in the area. WTMJ's John Mercure here, and with the fall colors, it's a great time to experience the Fox and Hounds near Holy Hill. It's been serving fabulous dinners for almost 90 years in their rustic timber building. Every Wednesday and Saturday, when you buy one prime rib dinner, your second is free. Also, order your favorite steak, seafood, grilled salmon, a big salad, the ribs, even steak and lobster, anything on the menu. Your second dinner is free tonight. Sip on a delicious Manhattan, enjoy an old-fashioned, check out the bourbons, or select from over 100 wines. The Fox and Hound sits in the Kettle Moraine Forest. The setting is beautiful. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. With the fall colors, the drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is spectacular. Those fall colors look great in the beer garden they've got, too. A Wisconsin must-see. Enjoy your free prime rib dinner tonight. Tables are available. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
All right, we had a question on the phone. We're not going to take the call, but thank you, Don. Basically paraphrasing, does Donald Trump care about the little guy, little girl, ordinary citizens? I would say, in my opinion, not really. He looks at things in a more grandiose fashion.
Here's a question. Do you think most people, once you get to that level of power and money, so I'm talking about like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, like how many of them do you think actually care about the every human life versus once you get to that high up, feeling like, well, there's some people who are, that's just the way the world is.
I think it's different. I mean, Bill Gates seems
he's funded a lot.
Yeah,
as far
he
as
seems like a guy that
philanthropy
cares,
goes,
especially in education, a lot of stuff. Musk, not so much. He's more interested in gathering wives and, money than anything else.
But I think a lot of these guys do think that they're doing good for the world. Have you watched Mountainhead yet?
No.
You should. I thought it was good. Do you know what's the premise?
No.
It's basically these 4 different tech. It's like Steve Carell. Who else is in it? Jason Schwartzman. Forgot the other 2 actors who are in it. It's like 4 tech moguls in a Aspen house for the weekend as like the world around them is crumbling.
That sounds like something I would watch.
Because of the AI that one of them created and like the wars that the fake videos started to create. It's a little on the nose, but it is interesting as far as the caricatures that they create of these guys who are so far removed to everyday life and the problems they think they're solving for humanity, despite them actually making things worse.
Yeah, and Steve Carell, underrated actor, by the way.
Oh, is he underrated? I think everyone agrees
so.
that he's very good actor.
In sort of different, I mean, The Office stands alone. I mean, that's just an epic TV
He was
show.
so good in the first season of The Morning Show.
Yeah, he's a great actor. And I've seen him, I just watched a movie with him and Ryan Gosling in it where he's trying to up his game. He just got divorced. Ryan Gosling is his coach.
That's a good movie.
What is that? Is that The Good Guy? Is that the name of that movie? I'm probably getting it wrong.
It's the good's in the title though.
Yeah, it's a great film. And
Emma Stone's in it.
Yes. We don't have any more time, so thanks for the questions. I'm not retiring anytime soon, so you're good with that. A lot of retirement questions all of a sudden. So
we threw it out there.
Yeah, so I'm good. Kristin's good. She'll be around for a while. We're good. After the break, important conversation. We started it yesterday talking about education in Wisconsin, specifically the conduct, sexual abuse allegations against teachers in the state of Wisconsin, and what the Department of Public Instruction is or isn't doing in relation to those stories. Great local reporter going to join us live on the show. We got local news coming up here, quick hit, and then, of course, the latest now from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The government shutdown grinding into a 4th week with funding set to run out for critical food programs in the next month, and furloughed workers facing another missed paycheck. Demolition of the east wing of the White House began this week to make way for President Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom. Now a preservationist group is hoping to put the pause button on due to questions about the project's size. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
Now, Trump had said that the East Wing is being, quote, fully modernized as part of the process to build his massive $250 million ballroom, which he insists is privately funded. But the National Trust for Historic Preservation is urging the administration to pause demolition until the construction plans can go through the legally required public review process.
General Motors CEO announcing today that GM is moving ahead on a self-driving technology that would allow the owner of the car to travel without having to keep their eyes on the road. GM says it will roll out its Cadillac Escalade IQ electric SUV in 2028. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. The measles outbreak in Oconto County is officially over. Wisconsin Department of Health Services says no new cases are expected, ending the outbreak after 42 days without an infection. In total, 36 confirmed cases were reported, including 2 hospitalizations. The last case was in early September. 1 person dead, 4 others hurt after a crash in Dane County happened around 4:30 yesterday on I-90 near McFarland. An SUV headed south lost control, rolled several times across the median. The interstate was shut down for about 3 hours. A popular downtown Milwaukee nightclub could be forced to shut its doors. Common Council Licenses Committee is recommending that Element Lounge have its license revoked. Milwaukee police filed a complaint against the nightclub near Water in Michigan. MPD says the club's been connected to multiple shootings in the downtown area. Time for some news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are sharply lower. The Dow now down 362 points, 46,562. The Nasdaq is down 341 at 22,612. S&P 500 off 63, 6,672. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 south at Locust Street, right shoulder they're blocked due to a disabled vehicle. That is fairly new. 43 south, about a half mile beyond the ramp from Beecher. Right shoulder there did have a broken down vehicle. Looks like that has been cleared off the highway. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cloudy, windy, cool, slight chance of showers today and into the overnight hours. We're going to hover around the upper 40s today. Overnight low tonight, 39. Sunny and 51 tomorrow. Frost Friday morning. Then sunshine, high 53. Sunny and 56 on Saturday. Partly cloudy and 60 on Sunday. Still 45 in Madison, 47 in Green Bay and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
A new physician has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Dr. Derek Damrow. Originally from Sheboygan, Dr. Damrow earned his biochemistry degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison and completed medical school at the Medical College of Wisconsin. He trained alongside a world-renowned upper extremity surgeon at the University of Florida. Dr. Damrow is now back in southeastern Wisconsin to provide specialized shoulder and elbow care through Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Learn more or schedule an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Adam member new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
I give up.
What's wrong?
I've been doing everything wrong at home. I washed the red towels with the white bed sheets. I left all the kitchen cabinet doors open. I wiped out the hydrangeas with the weed whacker.
Hey, we all make mistakes.
But darn it, my wife still isn't mad at me.
Wait, hold on. You're doing these things on purpose?
Yeah.
Why?
So I can sleep on the couch.
Let me guess. The James sofa from Penny Mustard?
Bingo.
With the extra deep seats.
And ultra high density foam cushions?
Remove the back cushions and it's almost like you're sleeping on a twin bed.
Twin bed? Exactly.
Let me get this straight. You're trying to make your wife mad, so she'll make you sleep on the sofa?
The James sofa, yes.
I gotta admit, it's a pretty good plan.
The James sofa, American-made with a solid wood fortress frame and hundreds of fabric and leather options, starting at $22.96 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi. And last week, there was an investigation that was published in the Cap Times reporting a review of public records that revealed the state of Wisconsin has investigated around 200 educators over the last 5 years for allegations of grooming and sexual misconduct. And it has opened up a much larger conversation as far as how these investigations are handled, the resources needed to handle them at the state level versus getting law enforcement involved. And the reporter who's been uncovering all of this is Danielle Duclos from the Cap Times. She joins us now to talk a little bit more about how this story started and also where it potentially is going to go from here. So welcome to the show, Danielle.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess what was the original thread for this story that you started pulling on? Because it was a year investigation, right?
Yeah, so this reporting journey actually started a few years ago for me when I was a reporter in Green Bay and I had covered just one case in one school district. And as I was doing that reporting, I realized that this story was a lot larger than just one case. And I wanted to answer the question, how often is educator sexual misconduct and grooming being investigated? How often are these complaints being made throughout the state of Wisconsin? And so that's how this reporting started. We set out to answer that question and started with the investigations at the Department of Public Instruction.
Daniel, in your reporting, a big piece of this is access to the records. And I know that from DPI, they trickle out. But the school districts, that seems to be the stumbling block here because as I was reading in your reporting, massive amounts of money asked for in exchange, here's the records. That seems like sort of a blockade to getting the information that you need to actually report on what's going on.
Yes. So the second part of the reporting came out this morning, and that really focused on the amount of money that school districts wanted to charge for access to these records. So we asked the 20 largest school districts by enrollment in the state of Wisconsin. We sent them all the same exact records request, asking for investigation records, resignation agreements, complaints reports of investigations they had conducted into their own employees going back to 2017. And some of the prices they wanted to charge were quite large. The Janesville School District wanted more than $245,000 to provide these records. Middleton wanted $40,000. Sheboygan wanted $17,000. The Madison Metropolitan School District was looking for more than $4,000. And frankly, that's just not money that we can afford to pay to get those records.
So how did you eventually get them? Because you obviously, no offense, but I'm sure the Cap Times doesn't have that kind of money. You just throw out.
Right. Right. And so we ended up having to significantly narrow the scope of our requests in a lot of instances. But for like the Janesville School District, I hopped on the phone with one of their administrators and really talked to them. This is what we're looking for. And the costs pretty much disappeared. We said, we want the investigation records and we want, anyone who's resigned and that you've had to refer to the Department of Public Instruction. We want records into those cases. And so we did eventually get records from them, but some of the records were missing too. So we had to follow back up and say, hey, where are the records for X, Y, and Z? And finally, those were provided, but it definitely was a long journey.
So that's the record side of this, sort of the investigatory piece that, great journalists like yourself actually have to write the stories. But then there's the conduct piece of this. And as we read your stories and we hear about this from the context of how teachers are acting with students in an educational environment, do we know how serious this is given what the DPI has released or what they've told us? Because a lot of this is protected. Obviously, allegations are not charges, and we have to always, assume that someone's innocent until proven guilty. How much do we actually know about what's going on? What is the most significant piece of this that we don't know yet when it comes to sexual abuse or mistreatment of children in schools?
That's a great question. And there's still a lot that isn't known because there isn't great tracking of data on this, right? Even nationwide, there isn't great data. And so the Cap Times, reviewed a bunch of records trying to get good data. And we reviewed more than 450 of the Department of Public Instruction's licensed misconduct investigations. And still for about a fifth of those, we were unable to categorize the conduct that was under investigation. So there's still some unknown there. And that's why in our reporting, we said at least 44% of those cases had to do with allegations of sexual misconduct or grooming, because it's likely an undercount since there is that gap in the cases we were able to categorize.
So in your reporting for this, have you looked at other states and is there a model of a state that is doing this well? Because this seems like a very convoluted situation as far as there is districts, there is DPI, there is a state statute, there is when do you get law enforcement, and then there's also what software exists to track all of this, and then also where do you even go to start to try to get access if you are the public. And so is there any state that has kind of figured this out?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of different states that do this differently. The Cap Times will be putting out reporting looking at what Wisconsin is doing and what other states are doing. And so that's to come. Okay. But other states like Florida, you can look up, you can search an educator's name and get any disciplinary action against them and look up the reasons why they were disciplined or lost their license. And there are other states like Arizona, Idaho, and Pennsylvania that put out annual reports and statistics on the investigations that their state education departments are conducting, with things like how many investigations were conducted, what types of things were they investigating. Arizona even looks at the different types of licenses that they were investigating, since it's not just teachers, right? Looking at, principals and things like that. And so those are some other states that do have reports where they put out and track this data and make that publicly available.
Go ahead.
Well, is that why, because in the framing of your investigation, and I know that was part of what DPI's reaction is the framing of this was information that was not available to the public. Now, it was available if you requested a public record. So are you saying in comparison to other states that publish this for easy access, that's what the comparison was as far as why you said it wasn't available to the public?
Yes. So in terms of getting these numbers, right, the Cap Times spent a year analyzing these records. We put in for a public records request to get the Department of Public Instruction's internal tracking document for how they track these investigations, which is a spreadsheet. And so they sent that to us along with a document of just case note summaries, so kind of summaries of the investigations from about 2019 through part of 2022. And so we use that to really go through each case and to figure out and categorize the conduct. In order to get all of the details, you'd have to hand request through the open records law each educator's file. And so for those about 100 cases, the fifth of the cases that we reviewed that I mentioned we weren't able to code the conduct, in July, we put in a records request for about 100 educator case files, and we have not received records back from that yet.
How would you characterize the response from the Department of Public Instruction, Superintendent of Public Instruction, Jill Underly, and their demand, apparently, for a retraction of a word that you used in one of your stories?
So the Cap Times stands by its reporting. We spent a year investigating this. We asked Dr. Underly for an interview prior to publication, and she declined. And since she released her statement, we extended another invitation for an interview with us, and so she could share her perspectives, and she also declined that interview request. So we stand by our reporting.
All right, let's take a break because I want to get deeper into where we go from now, because I know that there is an assembly hearing happening tomorrow. There is conversations about what legislation needs to happen to improve this process. So we are talking to Danielle Duclos, who is a reporter with the Cap Times, about her ongoing. How many is in the series are going to be by the time you're done publishing everything? Because there's 2 out already.
Yes, and there's a few more to come.
Okay.
So yeah,
ongoing reporting from Danielle Duclos. Stay with us on Point Taken.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash game show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristin Brey, and if you're on the market for a new dentist, you should check out my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economowoc Dental Care. Dr. Michaels is committed to providing you with the highest level of care possible. I can assure you that he will prioritize your needs no matter how sensitive, just like he did with mine. So whether you need a simple cleaning, an exam, teeth whitening, or a more complex dental procedure, Economowoc Dental will always make you feel as comfortable as possible while still giving you and your family an amazing smile. And it doesn't have to break the bank. Dr. Michael's fantastic staff can set you up with a no-interest payment plan. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Call and make an appointment today with my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economowoc Dental Care.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive a free motor for your automated awning with your order. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
Gruber Law Offices, serving the people of Wisconsin for over 30 years. Call us today if you've been injured. Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to Point Taken. We are talking to Danielle Duclos, who is a reporter with the Cap Times, who published a big story last week, and there's ongoing reporting talking about how misconduct is investigated and tracked at the state level, at the district level for our schools in Wisconsin. And so, Danielle, obviously, this I would say this reporting does what I think most investigative reporters hopes, that it starts a conversation, sheds light on something that needs to be fixed at the legislature or some level as far as the outside stakeholders taking action. And luckily, that is exactly what happened, right? We're having a hearing tomorrow in the Assembly talking about what changes need to be made through lawmakers to impact the current situation of how many people are affected by the current system. And so I know you're a reporter and not an analyst, but in looking through all of this, what are some of the number one things that could be done to improve the process from where it is today?
Yeah, so we will have more reporting out on this, so don't want to put, the cart before the horse, but some of the things that the advocates, the prevention advocates and the researchers I spoke with for this story said is really the data tracking is a big part of it. And the reason for that, as a misconduct prevention trainer and researcher Billy Joe Grant said, is that if you don't understand the scope of a problem, it's really hard to allocate resources to address it and to know what's needed to address that. And, the Department of Public Instruction has said that they lack enough staffing and funding for this. And so having tracking and understanding that would help allocate resources, and as well as access to this information was a big thing. And particularly if someone loses their license, whether they voluntarily surrender it or it's revoked by the state, having that information about why they lost their license as easily accessible as the fact that they lost their license would be key in prevention as well.
You can answer this one or not answer. I'm just curious. In any other agencies in the state of Wisconsin, have we seen a case where a leader of that department, that agency, has essentially refused to do any public-facing events or interacting with the individuals that those departments or agencies impact, in this case, parents, families, school districts? Have you seen anything like that?
Honestly, I can't speak to that because I've been so focused and ingrained on this investigation for the last year. So I wouldn't be able to speak to what other agencies have been doing or agency heads in terms of, public conversations about what their agency operations are.
I'll speak to it because most agency leaders are always encouraged to go out and speak to the public, and I'm not seeing that. But as we've said over and over again on this show, the Superintendent of Public Instruction, Jill Underly, is welcome to come on. We'll give her a whole hour on the show. She can address this or any of the issues.
And so additionally, there's the tracking issue and the investment and resources needed to do the tracking. How much of a difference would it make? Because right now there is no state law against or even defining what grooming is, right? And that's part of what the new legislation could be. Is how much of that would make a difference as far as the limitations of DPI when it comes to being able to subpoena people or being able to, where's the line between law enforcement versus DPI and what they can do based on what the state statute says?
Yeah, so I know there's been talk among lawmakers about drafting legislation. So without seeing what the final text of that is, it's hard to say what the actual practical would be. But yeah, these are different than law enforcement investigations. So I want to be really clear about that. We were specifically looking at licensure investigations by the Department of Public Instruction, which serve a different purpose than a law enforcement investigation. And so those investigations by DPI are looking at whether someone should keep their teaching license. And then, of course, a law enforcement investigation is looking at whether a crime occurred. But currently, the state statute that DPI uses, the standard to look at licenses, refers to, quote, immoral conduct, and that's defined as conduct or behavior that is contrary to commonly accepted moral or ethical standards and that endangers the health, safety, welfare, or education of any student. So it's a vague and a broad definition, but DPI seems to think that, and they've said that adding explicit language about grooming would be helpful for them. So interested to see where the discussion goes with lawmakers and what comes next.
I think every parent, including myself, is very interested in where this story goes. So thank you for reporting on this. I'm excited to see the additional editions you have getting published in the next couple of weeks. Danielle Duclos, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, let's take another break and we'll come back and wrap up today's show.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi, and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
We all have one. That junk drawer, old keys, dead batteries, a phone charger from 2008. But somewhere in there are the tools you actually need. They're just buried in the clutter. For many people, their finances look the same way. Scattered, outdated, unproductive. A financial junk drawer. At Annex Wealth Management, we help you clean out that junk drawer. Organize what matters, eliminate what doesn't, and plan with purpose. And we'll do it as a fee-only fiduciary. Start today at AnnexWealth.com. That's Annex Wealth Management.
What's up, Prochachos? Ready for an epic Stranger Things watch party?
Grab a tasty slice of Stranger Things Surfer Boy pizza. It's the tubular frozen pizza that tastes like it came straight from Hawkins to your oven.
Whoa, this pie? Totally righteous.
With 4 bodacious flavors, you're sure to find one that totally rocks. Plus, you can collect the Wicked limited edition sticker that comes in each box.
Now that my taste buds are upside down, let's get this watch party started.
Stranger Things Surfer Boy Pizza. Grab your gang and fuel up for one last adventure.
I know why you continue to live in pain. It's because you don't believe anything can be done to help. Maybe you bought into something and you've been burned before. I mean, your skepticism, it's understandable. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. And here we use powerful, anti-inflammatory, and cushioning pharmacological medicines to ease your pain. They're FDA approved and most medical insurance is going to pay for our treatments, including Medicare and Medicaid. And that's the litmus test. Because if insurance has shown to cover the cost of many of our patients' treatments, you can be sure it's valid medicine. It's not a biological treatment considered experimental or some new gimmick that's trying to hook you. The Rejuvenex approach to pain relief is legitimate. It helps to alleviate pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. And from what we've seen, it gives people a new lease on their lives.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we'll see you tomorrow.
Take your family to the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford or Oshkosh today for the Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry and just $7.99. Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Just walk in for your $7.99 fish fry. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft restaurant.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
I asked him what a town hall like this can actually accomplish, what it can do in 2025 in such a divided political climate.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
And I'm digging the opportunity to see the leaves actually stay on the trees because they change colors, and all of a sudden it's like poof, then they're just gone in an instant.
I hear you on that.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Thanks for listening on today's program. This was a great example of great journalism, and Danielle is well-trained and has earned the right to have this story be recognized for what it is, an important look at a very important topic in the state of Wisconsin. And one of my friends texted me, goes, good luck getting Jill Underly on the show. I'm going to make the ask.
I already did. I already asked the comms person from DPI to see if she wants to come on. And I did have a long conversation with him yesterday, and he is, it's his job to protect the agency, to communicate what is happening. We talked about the questions that they answered and how he was trying to be as available as possible throughout the investigation. And it does sound like there's a difference between DPI and the requests for public information at the district level. And so it just sounds like my big thing with this feels like something that predates Jill Underly.
Probably.
Right? This isn't something like that she came in and changed this system of how things are tracked. And so what's most important is that we fix it, right? As far as it would be great for her to get out in front of this and actually have conversations. But ultimately, I'm excited to see the more reporting on what other states and how they're doing this well. What resources do people need to advocate that actually get infused so that we can track this better? If it requires better software, more people. But this is a very important topic. And I'm very grateful as a mom of a young child that it's been brought to light so that we can get more resources and whatever state statutes that need to changed so we can improve upon it and protect kids.
Yeah, an important story. We'll stay on it as well. All right, you're off tomorrow, so enjoy your day off. I know you're working. We have Rick Essenberg and Jeremy Janine will join us.
Great show.
Point taken
Tell
tomorrow.
Rick I say hi.
All right, news is next.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. More and more these days, people who are in pain are taking control of their health, and they're looking beyond traditional medicine. People just like you are finding lasting relief without having to use steroids or have surgery. They're doing so right here in Milwaukee at QC Kinetics. Here's how it works. Your blood contains tiny but mighty healing tools. By putting these natural elements to work, the doctors at QC Kinetics are revitalizing your joints. It's a simple injection, not a hospital stay. It's fast,